What's up, guys? Welcome back to another TMA podcast. And today is the day after UFC 248. Yoel Romero versus Adesanya. Pablo, what do you think of that fight?
Well, it was a highly anticipated fight. It was everybody was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I couldn't wait to see it. And then for many, it turned out to be very disappointing. To say the least.
In a lot of ways.
Personally, I liked the fight. I like that. Is he gonna pull the trigger? Is he not? I would have liked to have seen more action, but in my opinion, these are two. Well, especially for Adesanya, he's a master tactician, and I think he did exactly what he needed to do to win the fight. I would have liked to have seen him throw a few more shots from a few more angles, take a few more risks. I was pretty disappointed with Romero's performance. I know that's his game plan, to kind of try to confuse you and to slow the pace completely and then explode. But I didn't see enough for him for his third title shot. I definitely didn't see enough from him. His leg got chopped up. So in my opinion,
even though he did the salsa dancing after the post-fight conference, but that leg must have been hurting.
Yeah, it must have. I mean, the next day must have been like killer for him.
It's probably difficult to get that leg in the jeans, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless you got like a size larger beforehand, just in case.
Yeah, I mean he is quite a big guy, so I don't know, man. But yeah. So when it comes to that fight, it wasn't what anyone expected, but I think you can expect when you have those kind of styles against each other, you can expect certain cancellations to happen. You know, and
yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think anyone guessed it for this fight particularly.
No.
Like we definitely didn't. You just never know. You never know these fights. Like anybody's been watching the sport for a while. Sometimes we hype up these fights and then they just don't deliver. And then sometimes you got these fights that seem like, oh, okay, just another normal fight, and it's like, oh my god, it's a fight of the year.
Yeah, there you go. Good examples of that is the best example of that is Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou. That if you would think there would be a knockout or just fireworks, then you would imagine for that fight to be the fight. But as we saw when it did happen, it was one of the most boring fights in the history, if not the most boring fights in the history of the UFC. But then you got the other side of the other flip of the coin, where you don't have a main event. But you have people like Dan Hooker and Paul Felder fighting, and what a fight! You know, it was better than a lot of fights that you see on main events, main cards. You know, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Felder or Dan Hooker wasn't main event.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't on a UFC.
Yeah, it wasn't a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it wasn't like.
But it could have very well have been.
Yeah,
it was a great fight, and it was a really good fight.
Well, I mean, going back to the fight that we want to talk about, the Yoel Romero versus Adesanya. Yeah, just a little bit of disappointment, just a little bit. You know, we're spoiled. I think we see everybody get bloodied up all the time, and it was a really hard act to follow when you look at the co-main event as well. So I think that did play a bit of a part in it, but I mean, I can't blame Israel Adesanya at all for fighting the way he did, because he knows, and we all know, what Yoel is capable of. And I don't want to really put a blame on any fighter, but if you wanted to say like who actually slowed this fight down completely and made it inactive, really is Yoel.
Yeah.
Israel was trying to pick shots at him. I thought both guys did what I thought they would do, but they did it to like much more extent. So like Yoel, and everyone knew Yoel was gonna do what Yoel does. He just said it, He's gonna sit back. He's gonna wait for those opportunities. He's not gonna let himself get tired, and he's only gonna explode when he sees an opportunity. That's what he did. But
yeah. For the whole time.
Yeah, he really pushed it. He pushed that game plan to the ultimate. He was like, And we were talking about it before, you know, like the first round finished, I was still like, oh, this is going to be a crazy fight. Because Yoel now, you know, he's got 1 round out of his way. Didn't get tired at all in that round. I mean, you know, what did he do? Throw 2 shots? And if anything, he got warmed up, right?
Precisely.
But round after round, you know, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, and he never came out and was guns blazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, for someone who's coming to the 3rd title fight.
Yeah. You know, Dana White said it was his last. He says he's got another 10 years of fighting. We'll see where he'll go.
Maybe, man.
But it was really it was pretty disappointing. I mean, look at his fight with Paulo Costa. That was a great fight. That
was a crazy fight.
Yeah, amazing. And they're 2 specimens. You know, they're both 2 monsters, and they both knocked each other down. And I'm surprised that fight went to.
And Yoel never really slowed down that much in that fight. I mean, he was dangerous right to the very end. Yeah. Which makes me wonder why didn't he do that with Israel? You know. Yeah. Obviously, Israel is a really good striker, so he was thinking about that. You know, he's like, I can't just explode on this guy.
Yeah, that's the difference.
To knock him out.
That's the difference. Paulo Costa was taking the fight and trying to be aggressive to Yoel, whilst Adesanya, who's counter-puncher, he was trying to create a reaction, whilst Yoel, against Adesanya, was waiting for something to happen. So it's really interesting, though, to see what happens when Paulo Costa fights Adesanya. Yeah. Just because of he is going to bring the fight, I believe, and I believe that will be a very interesting fight, because that will give Adesanya also something to work with in his craft of counter punching and counter fighting. So I'm looking forward to that. You know.
Yeah, I think it will be kind of like what we all wanted to see from Israel versus Yoel.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, if you look at Yoel and Paulo Costa, they're kind of very similar. You know, massive guys just look like they've been sculpted. And have crazy knockout power. Not really known for some crazy grappling skills or crazy skills in the stand-up even. But they're very dangerous in the stand-up. They've got that.
That's another thing. Yoel Romero, like, why would you not? I get it. No, I don't get it. Use your wrestling. I saw so many opportunities where you could have grabbed a leg in that fight and got to work. I don't understand why you're not doing that with the background you have. I think everyone said it, so it's oversaid. But
well, can I give you my 2 cents on that?
Yeah, please do.
I think he doesn't want to get tired. I think wrestling is very tiring, and if he knows if he goes for takedowns, it's a lot of energy spent. You know, I mean, look at Israel. He took him down once in that fight, and he got up in 2 seconds. So I think Yoel would rather use his energy to explode on you with flying knees. And punches. And something else that is just speculation, because I don't know this for sure. But maybe Yoel, because we haven't seen so much of his wrestling, even though we know that's his background, right? That's his like backbone, let's say. But because we didn't see so much of it, I speculate maybe he's not so good at controlling people on the ground. So maybe he knows I can take people down to the ground, but they will get back up. Right?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because maybe that was his style in wrestling. He would just take people down, get the point. He wouldn't have to hold them there for too long. Yeah. Right? So maybe he's worried about that. Maybe he's like, I am a really good wrestler, but I'm just a good wrestler at taking people down, but I'm not good at holding them there. So he doesn't want to waste his energy. But that's just speculation. Yeah. But I think it is, I think he is worried about getting tired. I mean, you can see that in his style in general. Like,
you know? I see where you're coming from. But I just think that, you know how there's levels to things, like your kickboxing, the level like Adesanya has a level of kickboxing that it's going to be hard to reach. And I mean, Yoel, he's an Olympic gold medalist. He wrestled the best wrestlers in the world, like when it comes to pure wrestling. So he's definitely got an edge.
Yoel is just out of this world, man.
Yeah, he's
He's like almost 50 years old. And he's out there fighting for UFC gold, like coming off of 2-3 losses.
Yeah, look at
his
face.
He's doing backflips in press conferences. He's telling people like, if you believe in something, you I mean, he looked so serious sometimes in that week leading up to the fight.
Yeah, he started talking about God and stuff.
Yeah, you know, it was the video of him talking to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's like, "How'd you get that cut?" I don't know. I don't feel nothing. It's just, you know, you gotta love Yoel.
Yeah.
But
Yoel, we love you.
love you, boy.
We love you.
See you soon.
See you soon, boy.
But yeah, just a bit disappointed in that fight. But I cannot blame Israel Adesanya at all. I think he was smart. If I was his coach, I wouldn't be so mad. I'd be like, listen, you have such a dangerous guy in front of you, you know, that is able to explode with incredible speed and power at any moment. And you were able to keep him at bay, you know, and just you know, maybe I wanted to see more side kicks to the leg from Israel, a technique that will keep him away from most of Yoel's attacks. I mean, if he decides to throw a flying knee or something. But you know, there was some things in that fight that were hard to see. I think I was telling you before, Yoel would throw a kick every now and then, and he would completely miss with it. But I think he wanted to miss, and then when he's spinning after the kick, you know, kind of like, you know, when you throw a kick, you miss, and you spin back into your stance, and he would be spinning really slow, waiting on a veteran like Israel Adesanya to jump on you if you spin too slow after you miss a kick. But I think, you know, he was making that look like an opportunity for Israel Adesanya because he wanted to come back with the spinning elbow. You know, and I only say that because when I saw Yoel spin that slow, I was like, oh my god, Israel is about to kick him in the face. And I looked at Israel, and Israel was like, nope, you know. And yeah, I think there was things like that in the fight, or like when Yoel started hopping up and down, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna fly in you. Oh, what am I gonna do? You know, an explosion is coming, and he's trying to get his rhythm going, and like, you know, it's weird. Like rhythm is really interesting because you can really, even if the person knows you're trying to set them up, if you are creating a rhythm in front of them, they will subconsciously just get into it. And there's something about like body language where you can tell like, oh, I got him. He's going on my rhythm. And now all I have to do is just break that rhythm. And Yoel tried to do that quite a few times. I don't know if it was frustration, if it was part of his game plan, if it was just because he seemed to do it a bit more towards the end of the fight, like 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Yeah, well, like you said, I also can't be mad at Izzy. I think he did what he could. I would have liked to see more and get some things from deeper angles and whatnot. But he got the leg kicks. He threw one really powerful spinning heel kick, and just that missed. So he was trying to break through Yoel's guard because Yoel shelled up in his guard, and he had it. He was trying, but without putting himself in too much risk. Which, understandably, if you're against a beast like Yoel Romero and the lights can literally go out. I mean, this. You know what fight this reminded me of? Actually, kind of reminded me of Tyrone Woodley versus Wonderboy, in a sense, because that also people thought that was going to be an amazing fight, and then people were disappointed.
I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah, a lot of people were. Yeah. A lot of people were.
Yeah.
And
it had its boring moments, to be fair. You know, I mean, boring. You know, it's just but it was a good fight.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what people say on Twitter and whatnot.
Sure, like the draw, everything.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can't be mad at Izzy. But anyway, what about the co-main event?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the fight we should really be talking about. And I feel kind of bad for them because I feel that the main event, Yoel versus Israel, stole their shine a bit because it was kind of like a stinker, and so everyone is talking about, they disappointed us, this, that, and not enough people, if you watch the press conference when Dana White came out, they asked him one or two maybe 3 questions about the girls. They asked them, "Oh, what's next for them?" And he's like, "Listen, those girls are going to the hospital."
Yeah.
Like that's what's next for them right now.
Yeah.
And then all the other questions were about Yoel, it was about Israel, it was about Paulo Costa, it's about the performance, is Yoel retiring, is it like, how is Paulo Costa healthy, you know? I mean, even Paulo Costa came to the press conference, and he had his time, and obviously he didn't talk about the girls. So, you know, and the girls didn't even show up to the press conference as well because they went to the hospital. So I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about it, you know? The pictures of Joanna and Jacek's face is gonna go online forever. I mean, what?
Yeah. Oh my
god. Come on. Actually, I challenge you. If you've seen a fight or like any kind of sport where an injury like this has happened, I'm not talking just like a hematoma. Like to the extent that Joanna had it. I mean, it was like it was like this. It was. It was ridiculous. I mean, I've seen like there's a boxing match where there's a guy that really like
big
blows up, but she must have been like at least double that. That was crazy.
She had like different angles of her head. She looked like an alien after the fight.
That was scary.
Yeah.
That was scary. Maybe they should have stopped that one.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man.
Reports after said that she didn't have any major injuries and she'll be out very soon out of the hospital.
That's good. That's good to hear, man. Because I thought after seeing that, I was like, she ain't flying nowhere for a year. She's not gonna go on the plane. With the, but I mean, it's like one of it's you know you crack your bone and like some air goes in or something. And it's like air trapped in there, or is it liquid?
No, I don't think so. I think that happens with your orbital bone that happens when you break here or something, and then you breathe in. That happened to Donald Cerrone against them.
Well, there's that. Yeah, there's that. Oh.
I think it's actually a swelling, so it's actually like it bruises and it swells like the blood. I think. That's what I believe it to be.
Whatever it is, you don't want it.
Nah, you don't want to. You don't want to look in the mirror and see your face.
I'd be scared. If I saw someone, if I looked in the mirror, so I'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, and also on top of that. You know, she took all that damage, and a lot of people still scored the fight to her.
Listen, Joanna is a great fighter, and I love Joanna. I was really rooting for her going into this fight, and I was also expecting for her to win. I was expecting her to win a decision. I thought, you know, Weili could get the knockout. So, like, we all respect Joanna, and she should get even more respect after this fight. But I think we should all, like, give a lot of respect right now to Weili because she showed that, man, she's game, you know, like she just went out there and went toe to toe with Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you know, the longest reigning champion in that division. She built that division, you know, she got it like that. I mean, Rose Namajunas and Carla Esparza fought for it at the end of a tough season, I think, and the first out fight was against Joanna. The first out defense was against Joanna, and she won it. And like Weili, man, I'm sorry, but like, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I didn't know that she had that kind of striking. I thought she had the power, I thought she had the knockout, but I didn't think she had what it takes to go toe to toe, technique for technique with Joanna Jędrzejczyk for 5 rounds, and it was her first 5-round fight.
Yeah,
so it was the first time we also saw her go with 4th, 5th round, and it was in a super high intense pace. It was not just a super high intense pace, but it was a lot of damage going back and forth. You also got Weili dealing with all the stuff that she's dealing with, you know, with the stuff going on in China, and she's moved camp like 3 times, you know, and still to go out there and perform the way she did, man. Like
shows
she is a champion. She is a champion, really. I mean, I'm a big fan of her right now. You know.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Even that, she was moved from multiple countries just to get to the fight, and she, you know, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, wow, all those hours on a flight, that alone will take it out of you, the jet lag, but in between that, to train for for the
and just
title.
the mental thing of it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're training and it's like, oh, you gotta go to Thailand. What? You know, I have training tomorrow. No, you're flying. Oh. And then you go to Thailand and you're like, okay, well, let me reschedule like everything again. Let me regroup. And it's like, oh, you're going to Dubai or Emirates or wherever she went. And you go there and you're like, okay, let me regroup. You know, like 3 weeks left of the fight. Okay. And it's like, oh no, you gotta go to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, like how many training sessions went out of her training camp just for that. You know, it's
and still get the job done.
But yeah, man, I mean, props to her.
Yeah, mad respect. Bravo, Weili Zhang. You're a great champion. I love how you hold yourself also. If you're hearing this.
I feel like the women's fighting in MMA is like really coming together right now. You know, like you know, for a while there it was like you got just, you know, like all the Ronda Rousey, you know, or like even Joanna, you know, it was like, oh, Joanna, you know. And then like now you've got all these girls, you know, and they're just so good. I mean, they're so good. I mean, like it's just really great. Like if you're a women fighter, like this is when you want to be alive. You know, it's like you know, they've got all these belts to look up to go out and take. So
yeah, a lot of good role models for
absolutely, you know, for really great champions. You know, Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko, Weili Zhang. Yeah,
straight up killers,
gangsters.
So yeah,
I think it was a good event. I think it was you know, it was a good event, and I think everyone's excited a bit about everyone, like what's next for them. You know, and that's always good.
Yeah,
you know,
I know girls, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting fact about this event: the red corner, all the fighters in the red corner won.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that's very
I think it's the first.
Yeah,
I think it's the first. So
okay,
that's the fact of the week. But other than that, I think that's the recap of the event.
I liked it. You liked it. Everyone's happy.
Absolutely. I hope you guys enjoyed the fights. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next TMA podcast. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, hit that notification bell, and follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, TMA Academy. Follow us on Twitter, TMA Academy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.